Spiral Knights podcast, hosted by Lord Hood, Lazarus Clay, and Zagreus.
Episode 58, recorded on December 1st, 2013. This is Lord Hood.
And this is Lazarus Clay, and welcome everyone back to the Arsenal podcast, where we talk about Spiral Knights things.
Yes, and tangent Spiral Knights things.
Sometimes we like to wing it.
Yes.
We go off the hook. I don't know what hook has anything to do with Thanksgiving.
No.
Or gobble snipes, but...
You're an idiot.
This is the
Shut your beak.
This is Thanksgiving weekend, which may indicate why Zhang is not with us. Don't know what he's doing. I don't know, maybe he's high on the holiday spirit, I don't know. He was totally one of those, like, Black Friday American, like, going out and buying a million things.
He was probably working. I don't know where he works, but if he works in any retail type of thing, then
this could be
painful.
true. This is true. But if he comes online and that sort of thing, which he might, seeing as it's already 2:10 here, p.m., afternoon, we will definitely add him to the call. Now we have this lockbox, and I guess it's my turn to open it, isn't it?
Yes, it is, looks like.
Alright, so we just carry it over here and set it down. Free! And we have got gobble snipes in here, which I suppose is appropriate.
Yes, it looks like it.
I will never be rich enough to afford one of the prize boxes that might actually have a real gobble snipe. This is a fake one made of styrofoam.
I'm hoping my guildmaster will be able to afford them.
Yeah. I'm gonna play catch with the styrofoam gobble snipe.
Yep.
Here, throw that to you.
They're like footballs.
Pretty much. It's a good spiral, isn't it? Alright. Hey, you throw a football with a spiral, and it's a Spiral Knights podcast. Oh, goodness. Hey, it's a Velociraptor picture. If you throw a good football at night, it's a Spiral Knight? Or something, I don't know, something along those lines. Also talking about poison, because we're just toxic and evil and sick, twisted.
Food poisoning.
And because I'm still getting over my cough, which has not bothered me nearly as much as it was last week, but it will not let me go, and it refuses.
He ate a bad gobble snipe.
Something like that. But I guess maybe that's something that we should talk about right on the other side of a bumper that we will announce before we play, as we do every single time. Woohoo! Alright, let's try this again. So basically...
No, actually, the excavators told the truth. It was me who lied.
Mission report.
Alright. Great minds think alike, or something like that. What were you up to this Thanksgiving week besides celebrating Thanksgiving, since you live in the United States of America?
Yeah. And its territories. Let's see.
Do they celebrate Thanksgiving, you think, in like some of the islands?
They celebrate Black Friday in Puerto Rico right now.
Okay.
I don't know if celebrate's the right word. They participate in.
Is it a celebration?
Well, people get trampled to death, so I don't think
Exactly.
it's a celebration.
Well, that happens to people at other things too.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. I got my 10K Prestige today, like 10 minutes ago, with Ladison.
Yep.
And I've just been hanging with the guildies, pretty much. That's it.
Alright. Well, okay then. Yes, that run that we did was recorded for Spiral Knights Impractical, and it will be episode 21 if everything... 22? 21 or 22. I'm not actually sure how many episodes I split up the current Wheel of Misfortune, which is running right now, that series, so... Oh well. I'm gonna give a shout out to Thirder Wing, because he sent me a handful of crowns, like 750, I think, and said, "I'm sorry you can't get the crest of what is it, the trinket, the Gift of Autumn trinket."
Oh yeah.
And said, "I'm sorry you can't get it because you're not tier 3. Here, have some crowns."
I'm sorry you can't because you're 4.
Well, because I'm not tier 3. And to Kaerap is how you say his name, just for showing some support and different things, being very generally helpful and involved this week. That's awesome. I looked up, I'm like, it's been a while since I've checked my prestige. What am I at? I'm at 4,400. 4,000. I said that wrong. 44,400. And maybe 44, but somehow I doubt it. In other words, I am within like 600 prestige of that 45k mark. I'm like, how did I get here so fast? Mm-hmm. I mean, aside the fact that I do every mission.
You play all the time.
I don't play all the time, especially not recently. I haven't been playing a lot.
Yeah.
As in, I don't know. I actually was doing some guild versus guild because I was needed this week.
They should give prestige for guild versus guild because that's like real life prestige. Like
it kind of is.
I'm at the top of the scoreboard right now. That's pretty prestigious.
But I think it would have to cost you something a little bit more, maybe because maybe the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah.
Maybe for night only, not guild, because then Gempire would have lots of prestige.
Yeah.
Ooh, guild prestige. Would that be a thing where you get prestige as a guild for having, like, the number can fluctuate based on, like, it amalgamates all of the prestige of the members inside of it, and like maybe extra prestige for every tier 2 member and every tier 3 member. In real life you
can lose prestige.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, that would make sense.
And
currently the most prestigious guild is
and you can just
exactly Lionheart
and how much money they have invested, and you lose prestige for having like tax build up, or I don't know.
Yeah. They have like 30 million 300 Echo of Silence. The treasury is full. They can't add any more to it.
It's maxed out at like 2 billion bit mark where a Java won't hold the number anymore, and it overflows into negative 2 billion. It's like 2,400,000,000.
Oh.
And it wraps around to negative 2,400,000,000. Something like that. Someone could probably tell me.
Warning. When they look at their guild treasury, it says warning overflow. Or overflow error.
Something like that. Oh, look. I think we got a Zang. Maybe. Maybe we have a Zang?
It's Lydia.
It's Lydia attacking us. Or is it actually Zang? Hello? I can't hear you, though it sounds like you're trying to make noise. He's a vacuum. Zang got turned into a vacuum cleaner. Or something.
Not exactly.
No?
Nope.
Hooray, we got the actual Zang with us.
I was convinced, though, that there wasn't a show today, considering that it was Thanksgiving weekend.
Well, if you want to go, you feel free to go.
No, I just thought there wasn't actually a show this weekend.
No.
He was having Thanksgiving parties late last night, probably.
Alright then. That was... Hey Zang, how was your week? Since that's totally where we are in the show right now. Or should we give you some time to, like, wake up and that kind of thing?
No. It was fairly quiet when considering Spiral Knights related stuff. In fact, I don't even think I actually got the update completely went through. I just got it through Steam, and I didn't actually bring Spiral Knights up yet. So let me do that.
Okay.
Because things. But otherwise, nothing really happened that much to me. Just kind of enjoyed my weekend doing absolutely nothing, essentially.
That's always
time
good.
With the family.
Well, good.
Mm-hmm.
So do you go to, like, school out of state or something, or your or your family in the same
Nope.
place?
Still in... school is still in the same state, just, about a few hours away from where I live.
Alright. Well, there you go. Zeddy says he's been hitting the sinful brew. Needs more shadow espresso. You people are funny and kind of mean. I don't know. Zang can judge that.
Let them say what they want to say. Honestly, I really don't care.
Alright then.
Yeah, I still gotta load the update up. Holy
Okay then.
Stocky mushrooms.
Yeah, something like that. Alright, well, you do that. Let's get into news and actually talk about what actually happened this week. Overheard at Moorcroft Manor. From the helmet of someone who likes some creature that requires a horn to fight with or something like that.
The helmet is supposed to be resembling to a demon called...
I don't know, maybe that's a good question. Who's the best NPC in Moorcroft Manor? Is it you have the bellhop,
I kind of like
clerk,
the
Conjuring Cat,
Conjuring Cat.
Hector, and Estavio.
How about Margrel?
I wouldn't count that. There's some pretty...
Conjuring Cat would probably be my favorite.
Maybe.
We meet over coffee and discuss dark rituals.
I'm just going to have to go with Estavio, because Estavio over Hector. And he's a skull-glowing head thing that you can't actually find anywhere else in the game. I'm totally taking it.
The skullhead floating guys, those are in Firestorm Citadel, aren't they?
yeah,
there's one of
they're
them.
basically
Oh,
the
one of them
remnants
is.
of,
That's true.
Yeah, they're basically the remnants.
They must have been giants, because they're pretty big skulls, too. Like, they're bigger than our entire bodies.
Yeah, pretty much. He says his favorite is the tiled floor because it lets him measure movement speed increase. Alright then.
I like the bellhop. The bellhop is my favorite.
Yep. I wish he would wander more.
So dedicated to his job, though.
I know.
He stayed there even after he died. It's more than I'll be able to say about my job. Once I die, I'm leaving.
Handed in my resignation.
Yeah.
Alright then. Well, you have...
Resignation. You're undead. You ain't going anywhere.
Well, I'm leaving my job, I'll tell you that, right?
Yeah.
So
If I become a zombie, I'm gonna travel the
He's
world.
probably contracted for life to essentially be a bellhop.
He's not contracted, he's a slave, probably. He was conjured by the Conjuring Cat.
Or soulbound to Hector and Estavio. I don't know. Moorcroft needs
Okay.
more lore. It got some, it needs more.
He was Margrel's, I don't know.
Servant? Companion?
Yeah, I think so. That might
Butler.
be it.
Butler. Alright, it's fall in Haven, so, well, it's fall in the world, I guess, autumn.
Well,
so you have your Feathery Fall promotion, which basically has convenient snipes, which happen to be coming through during the week of Thanksgiving that look like turkeys. Yeah. Alright, let's buy it. Let's just go right with this story.
If someone gives me 3200 CE, then I'll be sure to use it on a box. If that's what they specifically say that they want me to use it on.
Right. Well, if you don't want to spend the 3200 CE that you have to pay to get a lazy or wandering small gobble snipe, or a rarely a stationary fat one for your guild hall, you can log on.
I actually like the wandering ones better.
I like the wandering ones better than the stationary ones, but they're all... I mean, the stationary ones, you can choose where you want them to be.
Yeah. And they're more expensive, so if you get one, then...
There you go. And there's an equal chance of getting a lazy one or a wandering one that sits or one that walks around. But you can get free things by just logging on between now and midnight
On the
Pacific
4th of
Standard
December.
Time, which is GMT-8 on the 4th of December, I guess. And you will get a bunch of stuff that I imagine Zhang either has just gotten or is about to get. Because
More
he's
than likely.
Yep. 2-day, heat amp, Krogmo coin, booster, trinket slot upgrade.
I don't even know what I'm gonna do with. I don't even know what I'm gonna do with the stuff that I get from that box, considering the fact that it's probably not gonna affect me that much.
And it is bound, so it's not like you can sell it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Save it for one of those times when you really need to heat something up quickly, I guess.
Is the Krogmo coin booster 1 day?
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
even really play that much PvP anymore, so unless I can trade that to somebody, I have no idea what I do with that. So here's hoping I either get the trinket slot upgrade, the heart pendants, or
You get
the
all of
heat
them.
amps.
You
Oh,
get
I
all
do?
of them, yes.
Oh, well, I have no idea what I'm gonna do with the cogmas.
Just let it sit in your inventory and look pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Get dusty.
Yeah, once you have all the recipes and bomb hats, there's not much. It's just like...
There is something cathartic about beating people into the ground, though.
Yeah.
When you're having a bad day and you go in there against some really bad players and just level them.
Why do you think I enjoy just kind of walking through the low level? I just walk through the low level clockworks and just slaughter everything. It's like I'm having a bad day. Nothing feels better than just casually walking through here, swinging Betty and destroying everything.
That's why Tier 3 gremlins go to Depth 1 when they're having a bad day to go kill Tier 1 knights.
Something like that.
Yeah,
If you're already...
Depth 1, you open a monster box, Tier 3 Dark Fang.
Something like that. He's just like hiding. He's like curled up in the box.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, also you get a dual heart pendant. If we didn't say that, the 2-star version will give you +2 health. If for that trinket slot upgrade that you got, it feels to me, because of all like the free trinkety kinds of things that they're giving, it's like Spiral Knights is it's looking at the number of players that use trinket slots.
And I'm also Tier 3 cleared, so I'll get that Gift of Autumn trinket.
Yeah.
Just 5-star.
It's like Three Rings is trying to say, oh yeah, guys, don't forget there's these things called trinkets, and you can use them and they're nice. And so they're like pushing this whole trinket thing.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I don't know.
You don't get the Gobble Snipe box, though?
No.
No?
That'll run you 3,200 energy. Or I think that's the number.
I am not paying 3,200 energy for that kind of...
Although a snipe is around that much in Crown, so...
Yep.
I paid about that much for like I don't know I'm trying to remember the last thing I paid. Last thing I paid with for energy. What was that? That was the chef box that I got Betty out of. That was the last thing I paid a massive amount of energy for, and that's because I was wasting all of my energy on it, and that was not fun.
Yep. There's also you can also buy if you're feeling really. What's the word for when money spews out of
Opulent.
your pockets? Opulent. There you go. You can buy the the fall leafy aura, which is like a reskin of the leafy aura to have like orange fall leaves.
It actually looked really cool. It looked really cool.
Orange leaves.
I thought, but
yeah, I thought it looks nice.
I'm just not gonna buy it
Exactly,
because I got no money.
Yeah. If your Cyborg Rock says that exactly, worth it if you're a Hallow user for sure, or you like taking pretty screenshots of you in Wolverdens, petting the wolf companion, and by that your hand is in its mouth and you're like shaking it off,
Getting your arm ripped off, yeah,
something like that. If you really feel like
Wolver Battle Sprite, it will happen.
Maybe one day we can hope. If you really feel like spending things, until December 4th, Operation Crimson Hammer is 75% off, Guardian Armor Pack is 50% off. I'd assume that means the real money purchases, not the in-game purchases for Operation Crimson Hammer, but I'm not sure. And if someone can confirm that for me, I mean, I already own it. Lord Hood already owns it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Me too.
Yeah.
I got it with energy.
In-game is still 32k, or 3.2k. Okay, thank you,
So
Cyborg
would it
Rocks.
be more worth it to get the... So would it be more worth it to get the Gobble Snipe or Operation Crimson Hammer?
That's a very good question. I would absolutely go with Operation Crimson Hammer. Because you get lots more free things that way.
Unless you really think that Gobble Snipe is really worth it, and to be honest, a fat, lazy Gobble Snipe or a small wandering Gobble Snipe is not fun.
They used to be the same
Unless
species.
You're really into the snipe collecting.
They used to be the same species, but then there was the there's like a place where snipes go.
There was the Snipe War, like
Yeah,
the Time War in Doctor Who, except they just divided. They didn't all die out.
Yeah.
Alright then.
And the Gobble Snipes won the land that was most fertile and ate everything, obviously.
And ate everything and got fat.
Okay then.
No offense to big turkeys or anything, but...
Does that mean that Christmas snipes are a different species too?
Maybe. Well,
Gobble?
you know, like snow hares and stuff, they have normal, like, brown colors in the certain season, then they turn white during winter, so could be.
Well, just don't forget, Gobble Snipes have feelings too, so don't be mean. Or something.
They're still fat. They're still fat, lazy, and don't do anything except wander around and peck at the ground.
I was invited to a Gremlin party where they were ripping them apart and eating them.
Hurrah.
Barbecue sauce is really good on Gobble Snipes.
If you are Tier 3 cleared, you can get a Gift of Autumn trinket for free just by logging in. I kind of skipped this detail on accident. We skipped this detail. It just gives you +4 health, so it's like the quad trinket. I don't know, what's the 4-star called? Quad trinket.
I think it is.
It's 3-star though, isn't it?
The trinket is 5-star.
No, I mean the 3-star heart one gives 4, doesn't it?
Yeah, Yes, it does.
So the Tri-Heart.
There's the Dual Heart, the Tri-Heart, and
The Tri-Heart.
I would think it would be the Tri-Hard.
Die-Hard.
By the time you get to that point, it's essentially probably at that point.
It also gives you +1 resistance to freeze, which it's the 3-star trinket attached on there, and basically gives you +1 to freeze, which means if you take an attack, since we've talked about this and you all know how this works now, if you take a normal +4 freeze attack, if you have 1 piece of Skullveron, it'll help you, it will reduce the time you spend frozen for a full second. Outside of that, maybe consider keeping your Pentaheart pendants for now, unless you're showing it off or using it with a costume, but it's not like it matters because it can only affect things if you look in your inventory because it doesn't show up on your character.
Yeah, they should use some like
Because
necklaces
unfortunately
or something.
we have not gotten to the point in development of character appearances where your trinkets can actually show up.
Which will be an amazing day.
I will be happy when they finally allow that.
Yes, and my apologies.
I mean, I could even see it working, honestly. In any case,
Like necklaces or pendants or things like that.
Yep.
Shield ribbons.
I just want to say this for everyone who's listening. My apologies for not fixing the audio right away. I kind of forgot about it, but everyone should be a little bit more even from here on out to the rest of the episode. It's just for posterity's sake. All right, so we've got Poison, which I've actually not joined the big debate about, because when I first learned about it, it was straight through Zeddy, and Zeddy's just shaking his head going, and he said, this is a quote from him, "If you want to split a group of people into 2 distinct parts who are both convinced that the other part are blithering morons, you can either bring up video game consoles, religion, politics, or poison." And
What's Zeddy's opinion?
Zeddy's opinion is that poison is excellent, and I agree.
I agree too.
It might be
I
one of
agree too.
If
So
it-
we're not at a debate. We're not split down the middle. So in your face, Zeddy.
Not
Actually-
us. I don't think he's calling us.
It's the rest. It's the rest of Gempire, right?
It's the forums, kind of, but people are like,
Oh.
what does poison really do? Well, we can stand as the tested authority passing this on of what Zeddy has researched. Actually,
Honestly,
up
the
to
forum-
this week.
The forums just want something to argue about. They have nothing to do in their pretty little lives, so they want to argue about stuff. No offense to anyone who's here who's on the forums. I'm just saying the people who live on the forums, essentially.
Yeah.
And if you're one of those people, well, welcome to the Arsenal podcast. Hopefully we can pull you out of that cursed rat race.
Yes.
And give
I
you-
try to
Because
stay in the
honestly,
treasure
it's not
vault.
worth sitting in there.
I try to stay.
Stop poking the sticks at me now. It's okay, Green Link. We don't poke sticks that much.
Hopefully not. Poison does exactly 3 things and no more. It prevents healing. It reduces the attack. Okay, it does like 3.5 things. It prevents healing for the poison target. It reduces the poisoned target's attack, and it reduces the poisoned target's defense. Yes, there is something else that it does. We will cover it in just a second here now. But poison lasts much longer than the other 3 main statuses. I guess because it takes longer for a virus to work its way through through your body than
your
it does
armor.
for your ankles to melt. I don't know. I guess. Most statuses that we've all statuses that we've discussed before, being fire and freeze, and I believe stun and shock are also lasting from 4 to 9 seconds, depending on where you are on the -6
Except for
to
like
8
curse.
scale. So of course, except curse. Poison lasts from 5 to 14 seconds, so it's more significant, and if you get poisoned, you can be poisoned for a much longer time, i.e. up to 300%, 350% longer. Now, healing mobs, such as Silkwings, do not have their healing strength reduced by being poisoned, even though it reduces attack and defense. Poison Silkwings, it doesn't change how much they can heal. Same with Menders, I believe, though Zeddy is here to rectify things. Zeddy's saying, haha, stun lasts for like 1 second. This is true, and
Yeah.
thank goodness. I was not actually thinking about that, but it's true.
But it's helpful still.
It is still helpful, especially against enemies, except slimes, who literally are only stunned for 1 second.
Yeah.
And then, don't shield bash slimes. I see people do that. Like, it does nothing. It does absolutely nothing. Okay.
No.
Except
It's just
ruin your
fun.
shield health. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
It leaves dirty slime all over the front of your shield, and you have to clean it off afterwards.
Then you gotta clean it off, and that costs more money because, a professional's gotta do it because apparently we are incapable of cleaning our own shields.
Or you just lick the shield and eat the jelly.
Depending on the type of
That
jelly.
would depend on the jelly that you accidentally smashed. Because if it's an oil jelly, I am not licking that shield.
Yeah, if you've ever siphoned gasoline out of a car tank, then you know that it doesn't taste very good.
That is nasty, though. It really is. Alright. Poisoned mobs generally take damage from being healed. You've heard about this before. You've seen it in Chalk 3's video about poison when he did his Venom Veiler. And, yes, and you've seen it happen yourself, perhaps. Except you say, but wait, I poisoned a Trojan, and it was being healed and not taking damage. Well, it actually seems kind of weird, because it seems like Lumber's, Trojan's, Royal Jelly, generally they don't poison... What am I saying? I'm just saying single words. Those Lumber's, Trojan's, Royal Jelly being poisoned, generally they won't take damage from being healed. Lumber's, it's like sometimes. Because sometimes, I mean, before I've killed a Lumber by just letting it get healed to death.
You killed a Lumber? Really?
By just keeping it constantly poisoned and letting the stoke wings.
Death by kindness.
Yeah, we will kill them with kindness. But, hey, I think we just hit a new record for number of people in the stream, in the live stream. Hello to anyone who's joining. We're talking about the poison status. Alright, sorry. It used to work on the Royal Jelly. Like, it would get healed and take damage. Mm-hmm. But because there's always little purple minis spawning and running towards the Royal Jelly, all you had to do is poison it and it would melt itself.
Yeah.
And so soon after the beta, I think, it was removed. And that may have been why the bigger monsters don't take damage from healing with poison. But all the small mobs do. Assuming
But it would have
been
been funny to watch the Royal Jelly just kill itself, essentially, by absorbing all the little mini jellies.
Right. Do keep in mind,
It's
though,
just kind of...
Go ahead.
It's just kind of like, it's okay, I've been poisoned, I'm just gonna heal myself. Wait, why is my health falling lower? No! Wait, if it
Stop
kills
healing
if
me!
it kills itself, would it not grant the reward?
I don't know.
It would, no matter where the damage is coming from.
Well,
if you kill it with Drake on
because
Fire
you poisoned it, you're the one that essentially left it to die, so you're the reasoning to it, but...
I
So I
suppose.
guess you
But
still would get the reward.
Yeah,
Despite
sometimes
the fact that you basically took the coward's killing way out.
The coward's
and just let it kill itself.
Though again, it doesn't work anymore to, the Royal Jelly doesn't take damage from that. And don't call it the Jelly King, it's the Royal Jelly. I will come after you for that one, it's a pet peeve.
Fine.
But it still will reduce the attack and the defense and keep it from healing, so
Yeah.
poison's still a worthwhile status. It just won't melt itself in the process. So, what about the numbers? I haven't heard much numbers yet. Well, here, you ready for numbers? I'll walk through this since I've studied this.
9, 23, 806.
23 is actually a relevant number to this discussion. 22.5 specifically. Alright, so the stronger your poison, right, you take the attack damage and then you subtract the poison resistance. Okay, so say someone's attacking you with that +4 status and you're wearing Chaos, which is -4. It's -2 and -2 for poison, which means it'll be a +4 minus a -4, which is +4, in case you can't do simple math, which is 8, which is the most poison you will take. And actually, strong poison, as in the strongest poison, +8, increases heal damage. I'm just looking at this, I'm reading this, I'm like, what is going on? Okay, so apparently this just in. I don't know what I'm saying. Apparently I'm not as familiar with this as I thought I was. But it
This
is
just
recent.
in from the front lines.
This is just in from the front lines. Stronger poison increases heal damage. So where a healer can damage a poisoned foe for up to 50% of its normal heal power. That makes sense. Okay, so you got a little gremlin poison for I don't know. You got a slime poison for +8 because a lot of the different types of slimes we'll talk about are extremely resistant to poison. You've got one poison, and the healer that normally heals for 110 will be damaging for 55 per heal. So, there you go. Well, almost 55, it seems. Stronger poison reduces stats further. So at a +8 poison enemy, will have almost very close to 50% of their damage reduced. If it's a 0 strength status, as in like you Venom Veiler, which is 0 strength on a 0 resistance enemy, you'll reduce by 30. At -6, it's about 20%, 21.5. Though I don't know how we're so specific. To be completely honest, I'd be curious to know how we're so specific. This is actually incredibly valuable in lockdown because you reduce enemy damage by because reducing enemy damage by half is essentially the same as doubling your health and survivability. Because if someone can only hit you for half as hard, it means you can take twice as many hits. So basically, go forth and destroy the Chaos clones because they have their -4 poison. So even if you inflict them with Venom Veiler, that's +4 poison for them, which is about 40%. Damage reduction.
Which means those Pentaheart trinkets aren't going to be doing squat for them.
Well, they'll also be taking about 15% extra damage too. So yes, very few people bother with poison UVs. They are all like stun, freeze, shock, fire, and poison is an afterthought. So you can monopolize on that if you're going to be in lockdown, particularly if you're a gunner or a bomber, because there's some nice options for you.
And using those Venom-themed Striker, that would be very terrifying to be hit by with the poison.
Yes. Dread Venom Striker's strong poison. Slight chance to cause strong poison?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, well that's a +4 then. Oh, there you go. Poison a Chaos with a Dread Venom Striker, and you will suddenly be doing 25% extra damage, and he will be resisting, dealing 50% less, because that's +8, +4, minus the -4.
And he'll probably be running in fear, because most of them usually go Striker.
Yes. Alright, so defense reduction is half of the offense reduction. So we say someone whose poison hits for up to 50% less damage, which means that you're going to be taking damage up to... It's actually 22.5%, not quite 25. So at +8 strength poison, an enemy's defense is reduced by 22.5. Now, that's not the same thing as saying that your damage is increased by 22.5. Those two are not interchangeable, and I plan on doing a impractical episode on this as soon as I can, but this is why. Enemies have specific numbers of each type of defense. So a Wolver will have, say, 60 piercing defense and 100 normal defense and 100 shadow defense and 140 elemental defense. And so you just take the base damage of your weapon and subtract that damage. Is generally the simplified version of how it works. There are actually other effects to that. But enemies have specific numbers of defense, and each of those are affected differently by percentage. I mean, you take a Wolver that has, and this is actually game numbers practically, so a Wolver that has 120 normal defense and 60 piercing defense, right? So if you hit it, it'll take more piercing damage than normal damage or anything else. So you poison it, say, and reduce its defense by 15%. Means you'll also be reducing its attack by 30%, but that's not relevant. So a normal weapon would do 20 points more damage, because that's what 15% of that 120 is. So normal damage weapons will do 20 points more damage. Piercing weapons will do 10 points more damage, because that's 15% of 60. Okay, you see how this is? You see where I'm going with this now? It'll vary a little bit. Acheron will do 40 more damage, because the normal and shadow defense both get reduced by 20. Alright? What it does is poisoning an enemy brings the spread from piercing, shadow, and elemental, and brings it in tighter, because elemental, it has less elemental defense to a greater degree, and less piercing defense to a smaller degree for this Wolver. So, he bringing it together, and Zeddy's telling me, I specifically noted that it didn't work that way. And I'm saying, what? Because I copied this exactly from your doc. Well, you tell me what specifically it was that I was off on. All right, but there you go.
No, you got it right.
Now. Okay.
Now.
Saved. We're good. Moving on. Who do you poison? Do you guys care to jump in on this, or do you want me to just keep forging through?
I can
Never poison a Chroma.
Never poison a Chroma?
Yeah.
Never poison a Skelly, and never poison a cat. Well, you could. It could be helpful. I was saying earlier that people could do 25% more damage to Chaos Clones. Yeah. Okay, that's a good point. Yeah, you won't be doing the 25% more damage. He'll be taking 25% more damage. Because there is that difference that I just explained there. Because everyone has different amounts of defense that all affect the actual defense differently. If someone has 100 defense and they're reduced by 25, they'll be taking they'll have only 75 damage, while someone who... It's not linear. Percentages are not linear. Alright. Skelly's Cats Chromas have +5 poison resistance, and if you look at the Skelly suit and the Chroma suit armors, you can get your secondary proof there through like the lore and the actual stats of the armor and how they have poison. Now, Vanaduke also has +5 poison, but it's definitely
He's
still
one
worth
of those
poisoning
targets
him.
you actually still want to poison because it'll make the fight a lot easier in the end, especially during his mask phases.
Mm-hmm.
If you clear out the mask phases pretty quickly, you can actually make it a very easy, make them very quick and make it so you're beating him up in his regular form.
Right. I mean, he just has so much defense and attack power to begin with that you can lower that it's still worth it. Even with Skelly's Cats and Chromas, it's not gonna it's gonna last for long enough. I mean, you'll be doing what? They'll be taking 12.5% extra damage and dealing 25% less. If that's significant to you, we'd go for it. I mean, if that's what it takes. Also, Zeddy is clarifying. I don't know why I said 22.5%. It's just straight up 25, which makes a lot more sense to me. So, at +8 strength, an enemy will be dealing 50% less damage and taking 25% more. So there you go.
Alright. Mechanical targets such as Mechanites and Lumbers have half the resistance that Vanaduke, Skelly's, Cats, and Chromas do, so they're sitting at 2.5.
Once again, very balanced, annoyingly so enemies, and it's not generally effective to haze Mechanites for much.
Yes.
But not to say that resistance makes it
Yeah.
not worthy. It's just, ooh, undead levels, let's go poison. It's generally not your best bet.
Yeah.
Jelly cubes specifically have 0 resistance, and it's kind of confusing because Oilers, Ice Cubes, Quicksilvers, Glop Drops, basically the other slimes, kind of, they all have negative 6.5 resistance, but not the Jelly
elemental
Cubes.
slimes, I believe.
Yes, Elemental Slimes and Glop Drops. So not sure why the discrepancy is there, but it is. It could have something to do with the fact that the slimes were the first enemies implemented in the game, and there have been more slimes implemented since then. And so they've just mixed up the resistances as they've gone.
I would have to say it's probably because of their elemental affinities, and because the poison does more damage to... And because the poison is an elemental affinity of its own, it does more damage to them because they do not associate... They're not attributed to that particular poison, that particular elemental affinity.
Right.
I have no idea what I just said. I'm still half asleep here.
It's all good. Gremlins have negative 2.5 resistance, which is excellent for combating those gremlin menders that you hate so much.
I think gremlin menders are sometimes traitors because they're like, ooh, he's poisoned, I'll heal him, heal him, heal him.
Now, here's the thing that with enemies, generally, healing themselves does not deal themselves damage. Okay, if you poison a mender standing in a mender's own rune, he won't start taking damage the same way a gremlin won't kill himself by trying to heal with a health capsule.
Yeah.
It won't actually, it doesn't appear to do damage, from what we can see, kind of the same way us trying to mash our capsule button and walking over hearts doesn't actually deal us damage when we're poisoned.
So while they're poisoned, can they heal?
They can heal,
Okay.
and their heal power is not affected.
Okay.
For healers alone. Everything else does have damage reduction. That was a question I had for Zeddy this week. I'm like, hey, question. And
What other bubble shield?
no, that's still self-healing. Right. So I don't know if... It would be interesting to me to see if poison limited their abilities, but I've never observed it. I think I've seen poison gremlin menders do everything that a normal mender can do. Also, just to keep in mind, if you're trying to do that heal damage, just be aware you actually have to attack the target. It's not that a healer will start to heal a fully healed enemy and start to damage it. You actually have to damage it first so that it has reason to heal. Just don't forget that, because that the one time it's like, the healers aren't doing anything. What's going on? Well, you gotta damage the enemies first, still. So, that's that.
Earliest wrench wands would heal your friends.
Yeah. It'd be kind of overpowered, though.
And it didn't do any damage to enemies, though.
Still, it's just like, we're all low on health. Okay, well, let's gather in this corner and use the one. I mean, maybe if it was as slow as a love puppy, I guess. I don't know.
It would be a novelty, I mean.
I guess. But it's free health, free survivability would be kind of... I don't know. Maybe it's kind of... So how do I poison? Venom Veiler, Biohazard, regular shots deal the 0 strength status, which is minor. So you just take 0 and subtract the resistance. Say an Oiler has a negative 6.5, so that'd be a positive 6.5. And so 0 minus negative 6.5 is positive 6.5. And once you've done your final calculations, negative 6 is the most resistant and 8 is the most vulnerable. So that's actually it's actually a good number. Cyborg Rocks said in the chat in all capitals earlier, he said, "The numbers, Mason, what do they mean?" Which I thought was funny. But he's just making Call of Duty references. A moderate +2 is inflicted by Biohazard Charge, Obsidian Carbine, Plague Needles, Regular Shooting, and Mass Grace Chaotic Haze.
Damn it, Kirk! I'm a doctor, not a mathematician.
Let's see, the Strong, which is +4 poison, is inflicted by the Dread Venom Striker, Obsidian Edge, Plague Needles Charge Attack, and the Obsidian Crusher Bomb.
Caustic Quills inflict +1.5 poison, and you bump up that to +4 with Virulent Quills. So,
just sad because I'm gonna get Vengeful Quills when I finally get to that point.
I think Vengeful Quills is excellent.
Releasing major updates, haha.
Greenling is suggesting limited uses per floor for your Healing Wrench wand. Just so long as you couldn't also kill your friends while they're poisoned, because that would be such the trolling thing to do.
Yeah.
Stop healing me!
Yeah.
And releasing major updates inflicts over +9,000 toxicity on the Spiral Knights forums. Also not releasing major updates that have been announced. Also not announcing any major updates. Also not talking to the community. Also talking to the community, but only small talk instead of important things.
Also,
forums, man.
Also talking to the community using only important things without any small interaction.
Pretty much. Forums they're nasty. They're evil.
So if you're intending to destroy Spiral Knights, my suggestion is hit the forums.
Right.
The forums are a mean, nasty place, and
yes,
if you let them, they'll beat you down.
They're like the League of Legends community, except nope, they're essentially just like the League of Legends community.
Right. One thing I did want to point out is that poison does actually increase shock damage, not fire damage. There is something specific about Oilers that if you can say before we move on to the next bumper in a minute, whatever the thing is with poison plus Oilers, I don't know, does it just prevent healing? I'm not sure. He was saying there was something going on there. But it will increase shock. I can't remember the enemy I was fighting, and that'd be helpful. But I assume that the numbers are the same. The percentage increases, but I was in tier 1, tier 2. It's on video somewhere, one of the things, and I shock, and then it was a Devilite. Shock, and then poison a fiend with +.
So wait, if you poison an Oiler, and then with like a poison weapon or anything, and then hit it with a fire vial, it takes damage? Is that what he's saying?
Oilers heal when they catch fire. Poison can be used to damage them through this. Yes, so
Okay.
Oilers can damage themselves by being on fire.
And that's like the one exception to self-healing.
Can
Yes.
Quicksilvers be damaged by being electrocuted while poisoned?
Excellent question.
And the frozen jelly cubes.
Walking through frozen haze. I don't know. Zeddy, help us. Do you know? I mean, I think extrapolation-wise, you'd think so, yes.
I would assume the Quicksilvers get damaged.
But
Because
Well,
when
Quicksilvers
they get
can kill
electrocuted,
things.
they
Yeah.
heal like almost instantly. So I think in that moment they would be taking damage.
They can also kill things by hitting them.
They can also, they also just flail around randomly and smash into everything
Yeah.
and do
Right.
damage.
yeah, anyways, I had a shock tick on a fiend and then a poison fiend, and it went up from 12 to 13 damage.
Huh.
So really,
Oh,
because the
God.
number of I know it's really like shock ticks 4 times. So unless 4 damage is going to be the difference between a kill and not, like maybe
Yeah.
shock plus poison as a hardcore major strategy. Okay, as a major strategy may not be good. As a hardcore try hard thing, sure.
You really need to get that 1 point of damage. Like if you're going up against Vanaduke, he's got 1 point of health left, and you're like, if only I would have poisoned him before I shocked him. Why? Which is totally not going to happen because that 1 point damage difference usually never makes that much of a difference.
Right. And the question with Quicksilver's being damaged with poison is they are actually invulnerable. They are like a drone or a Shankle that has their shield down. You can, if you buy a Quicksilver that's just kind of hovering in shock mode in Ironclad Munitions Accuracy and swing a sword, you get that chink, like no damage sound, like you're hitting a golden enemy.
If you poison it beforehand, I think that's what people mean.
Yeah.
But if you poison it before, but if it's, I don't know.
Because Shankles don't take damage when they're being healed while they're invulnerable.
It initiates its healing / electrocution thing. I think it would actually take damage if it followed the same logic as the fire.
I'm pretty sure when you poison a Shankle, or like the drones, and then it goes down to invulnerability, it can still be healed by a Minder while it's poisoned. While invulnerable.
Alright, well, we will have a video in the show notes that is Zedian quote some of our favorite scientists who give us this information to pass on to everyone else, killing some Oilers with Ash of Agony and Venom
Because that's
Veiler.
what scientists do. They kill things.
Of course. Alright.
They've been Zeddy and Quote have been experimenting on
and shiny
poor
things.
hapless jellies.
Yeah. Alright.
Shiny things.
Zeddy wants to clarify that they hit him with the blast a few times, like the blast of the bomb, but it's definitely the fire killing them. So go check that out. That will be on our website, squarely.com/arsenal, and all the other episodes of the podcast as well.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Transmutations. Welcome, Arap, to the transmutation section where we talk about what we want to see added to the game of Spiral Knights. Sent me an in-game mail, which is one way, maybe not the most preferred way, but a way to contact us and say, hey, look, things and stuff that I want you guys to talk about in the podcast. And he suggested he had a very well thought out idea. It was 3 or 4 fully fleshed out paragraphs on the way to do 1 versus 1 PvP dueling. Which I think I would absolutely not be against having. It's not a brand spanking new idea, but it's definitely one that's desirable.
It's something that happens every now and then in GVG where everyone's just bored and they just like let 2 people fight every now and then.
Every now and then, if you get a good group, you can do it in randoms too. You'll see it. It's like, look, no one bother us while we're 1v1ing, and they will do that.
Then you get that one like
guy.
The one default weapons and stuff noob who rushes in and starts hacking at somebody.
Pretty much. So Arap suggests having like a new menu, maybe accessible through the garrison. Like there's a place where you can sign up for random duel or send a challenge to other people in the PvP dueling lobby. You could have customizable rules for like round limits with or without lockdown classes.
Headshots only.
Yeah. Don't know how that would work.
So it's like one-on-one Super Brawl.
I guess,
like one-on-one.
Pretty
That
much.
would actually be something I like, because actually going up against somebody one-on-one like that would be pretty fun.
Yeah.
And you could decide whether to
a bombs
stand.
only match against Hunter.
No. And then, so it would just be, because it's one-on-one, hopefully, if you're doing randoms and you're doing randoms, you should be matching your tier, but if you're doing send a challenge, you could just send a challenge to a friend who's also in the lobby with you, and, like, you could do fun stuff. I mean, it'd be like, okay, sure, that'd be fun. He does say that the prizes would be the same as in Lockdown, 1 coin for playing and an extra 1 for winning. Mm-hmm. And I'd say maybe not.
It seems like a little excessive. Like you could easily throw that.
There, I got
and get
my
lots of
update.
stuff.
Exactly. You could throw... Good. Congratulations. You could... Yeah, if they gave 2 crowns for winning, it's like, I need a Voltage recipe. I need 100 Krogmo coins. Here, hey, Alt, come help me. Kill Alt 5 million times, get 5 million... Well, get 10 million coins, because you get 2 for winning. And suddenly, broken Krogmo system. So maybe it doesn't cost anything to get in, but it doesn't get you anything for coming out either. Maybe just points on the leaderboard, I don't know. It would be a great way to fight over the last cookie. Third Wing says, I challenge you to a duel in Spiral Knights.
Yeah.
See, we can't do that. We can't do...
Take off your glove
I can't challenge
hit
people to
someone with it.
duels. There should be duels.
Take off your glove and hit someone
We
with
are
it.
knights, after all. That's supposed to be the thing we do, isn't
Yeah,
it?
you could wager items or crowns. Like, that could make it.
Challenge
Nordic
people to
said that.
duels.
Yeah.
I bet my by J-Con.
And along with that, why don't we just include jousting competitions?
Because where are the horses? We'll ride gobble snipes to battle. And they won't go anywhere.
You could do jousting on Alpha Wolvers, but...
No, you get different mounts to ride, and they have different attributes, and you attribute those with your weapons and armor.
I'd ride on a
whoever has the
drone.
better combination of stuff in the end wins the match, and you both have to put up a bet to see how much money you would make off of it, and whoever wins gets the whole pot.
When we were charging each other, I'd have a drone, and then as soon as we hear about to hit each other, I'd just jump off and the drone would mow down anything.
Well, okay then. Now, speaking of lockdown, another way that people will actually force a 1v1 is using Infinite, which is where you kind of break the game of lockdown, and the clock never expires.
I've seen it happening accidentally, though. I mean,
yes.
It does happen
accidentally, but people have figured out how to do it on
occasionally.
purpose, and there's a screenshot of that we will discuss in Spiral Order Recon. Spiral Order Recon. I got it. Yikes. Actually, before we get there, I do have to point this out because I think these are both very smart. VYK says in the chat room we could just ride Tortodrones, and instead of spears, we'd have troikas. Nordic Oten says ride on a Gorgo and you'd never get hit. And I saw that, I was like, yes, that's it. I'm aware of your
I
clicking.
don't think
by the
a
way.
Gorgo would let you ride on it, considering the fact that it would be trying to eat you.
Exactly,
Like
that's
Greenlink said.
Yeah,
It would
exactly.
be
Right
trying
there.
to eat you.
Although a Tortodrone might work, because unless you accidentally hit it or something, you wouldn't want to use your riding crop or
You
anything
really
on
think we could tame a Tortodrone? We can't even get close to those things
Well,
and
you can-
wake them up
you
without
have to-
agitating them.
That's not true, though. I mean, if you ever fought one, you have to actually hit them to make them attack you. They'll just wander around.
You don't think that getting really close to it and touching it would agitate it?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've walked by one without it aggroing to you and stuff, but
True, but still.
Well, speculate. Oh, Nordic Oten says, okay, fine then, ride in the Gorgo. Anyways, we got a screenshot here
I
from...
don't think that's... No. Go.
Alright, we got a screenshot here from Thirder Wing called Lockdown on Steroids, and it's basically one of a screenshot of his that he wanted to share. The one thing I'm curious about this is it looks like infinite because the scoreboard points are at 110,000 or more, and people have hundreds of thousands of points of damage. The one thing I am curious though, and I don't know how infinite works, I've never been in an infinite game, but usually the way I've seen it is once everyone's done having their fun in infinite and the clock's not winding down and things like that, everyone on one or the other team leaves, and that ends the game, because that's the only way to end it, is if all of one team leaves. In this screenshot, not everyone from either team has left, and I was like, how did they stop the game? But, I don't know.
Can you forfeit?
unless they glitched it or something, so you get infinite points when you win a
How the
control
heck do
point.
you even get infinite match to begin with? I didn't think that was a thing.
I don't know. There are ways to force it, though.
I've seen it with maximum. It was 2 million points or whatever the maximum is. Which is Empire.
You
maximum.
cap 2 points at the same time, simply unbalance the capping to stop the game. Alright, thank you, Zeddy. Man, that guy's smart. Alright, we have SK My Knight Portrait, which came out early this week by Galaxy Invader. And it's basically kind of really awesome looking art. I.e., it looks really good. I was just surprised. And once again, it's been a quiet art scene this last month or so. So, I mean, you have people saying, I thought it was a screenshot at first, and it definitely looks like it, but it looks really well done, and it's really well drawn, and all this kind of stuff, so good job to Galaxy Invader. All the links to all of these things will be on our website, of course.
Like, comment, subscribe.
If there was a way to do that on our website, sure. The other one is Happy Birthday 2013, which is by Dipstick. Just spelled like
I think it's
dip-
pronounced differently, but I'm not going to correct you.
Which is entertaining because it looks like a knight surfing on a Dread Skelly shield with a bomb that it's about to throw at somebody.
Yep. And it looks
Because
great.
explosives.
Yep. It looks great. And you should see it for yourself. Okay.
Yes.
That's your Spiral Loader Recon. No Spiral Knights anime this week, but that's alright. No... if you must, you can go watch Spiral Knights Impractical on youtube.com/SclayElite, which is our channel, and what are we on? Episode 19? Let me check. I must know these things. We did actually hit 250 subscribers this week. We're on 20 exactly.
Yay!
So 250 people. That's cool. Thanks, guys.
Subscribers.
Hurrah. Okay, then. Do we have time, or should we just wrap this up? We should wrap this one up. Blizzard
Yeah.
Banter will be coming at you next week, where we will be actually talking about the Santee hats for Winterfest. So you ready for
I don't even know.
Winterfest?
Do I even have one? I think the only safety hat I have is the Humbug hat.
Right. They expire, the normal ones, so...
Yeah.
Anyways.
The only one that does not expire is the ugliest of them all.
Alright, then. Well, unique variants.
Ladies and gentlemen, your unique variants.
Wow, that's a typo.
What?
Or, yay, Satan stuff. I mean, Santa stuff. I have a
Well,
feeling that was
what?
completely intentional. But Santa and Satan, the letters
Where?
rearranged. Conspiracy theory, says Greenlink.
Where is this?
It's in the chat.
Oh, really?
Yeah. VYK Torkin. Alright, so...
Link, don't get that kind of thing started. And if you're going to get it started, put it on the Spiral Knights forums, and we'll watch it grow and fester into an evil thing.
Satan
Satan
Claus.
claws.
Satan Claus, spelled like the claws of an animal. Zeddy says, is watching every move. That's funny. Alright,
Claus
moving
is
on.
Coming for your soul.
There you go. Demonology, ladies and gentlemen. Hurrah. Kaerap just wanted to give a friendly reminder for the Max Knights and Vanguards not to give into the itch to run around showing off their gear and worse, calling names to smaller knights. And a friendly reminder to the smaller knights not to hate on Vanguards just because of a few bad apples. I guess this is something that's still going on. I haven't seen it much anymore. It used to happen a lot more in my experience. But
Honestly, it's depressing that people still do it anyway. Vanguards.
alright. So just something to
Just have some respect for one another. The higher knights, the vanguards, and the maxed out knights are supposed to be role models for the younger knights. The younger knights are supposed to respect the vanguards. We are not supposed to be at odds. That creates a problem. That means that the younger ones don't want to learn, and the older ones don't want to teach, and then no one wins.
Yep.
Everyone has to learn their own way, and nobody becomes better for it.
I could not count the number of times I've explained the Snarplax fight, but I'd do it again and again and again. All right.
Exactly.
Every time that you
Get
Every time- you get into-
time you help someone with the Snarlax or a boss or anything like that, or assist them, you're helping the community become better because of the fact that you're making the other people play better.
Indeed. And just helping out is good, too.
We're a community. We're not supposed to be at odds.
You know, Hexel suggested to me, what if just based on the podcast, just as a home base for, let's have a thing where we can talk about the ways that as the finished, more accomplished knights, we have gone out and helped the younger knights, like the newer players, just to help out, because sometimes the missions are too hard. And I feel like I don't want it to become a brag fest kind of thing, but I think that's always a good thing to be pursuing, especially in MMOs. So just, if that's out there and you had a very notable experience, go ahead and let us know, and always be aspiring to do that, because it's better than being a jerk. Okay.
Because being a jerk can just get you kicked from the game. And I'm pretty sure that the GMs would be more than happy to remove people who are incapable of respecting their fellow knights.
Indeed.
And I would want to watch it. Because it would be funny.
Whack, whack,
On a
whack.
lighter note, Cyborg Rock says, we must guard the vans because we are vanguards. Greenlink says, which means SK has vehicles. Case closed. Alright, you can give us a Christmas...
Spoilers. We're not
parody.
supposed to do spoilers.
No vehicles. There's no vehicles. What are vehicles? I don't know. Spiral Knights doesn't know either. If
Like
you give us
bikes and ATVs and mounts,
Okay,
animal mounts, make it happen. 3 Rings. You know you can. You know you want to.
You know you want to. Give us a Spiral Knights parody idea, us the podcast. If we use it, we will pay you with 10,000 crowns. Give us a song. Give us like the lyrics that it should be. Any amount. If we use your idea in whole, we will definitely pay you for it and credit for you
And we'll
for it
have
in the
fun
song.
singing it while also looking exceptionally odd.
Indeed. Speaking of which, Gentleman is in the host of the podcast. I may have some stuff ready so that we may do some stuff after the show next week. If not, in 2 weeks for sure, we'll have some stuff ready for you guys. So, just for you to be aware of.
Okay.
There is a link on our forums.
Rocks.
On our
Really?
forums.
Oh my god.
Let's not go there.
Let's not go there. Because those are the kind of nights that have sunk so low. So low. They can't be pulled back out of the pit.
Yeah. All right, let's just move on. Move on from that.
I
All right, so there's a link that will be on our website that you can goes directly to the forums. But anywhere on the forums you go, you can see this thread for the Spiral Knights parodies. Leave your thoughts, and if we use your idea, we will pay you. Which means also leave your IGN if you're not a regular around here. This is the sources of the Arsenal Podcast forums for this. Maybe it's a joke, maybe not. But March 2nd, Third Wing declares win million only lockdown day. So get planning. I'd totally support it if he's serious about making it a thing.
I don't have a win million.
But you have until March 2nd to get one.
I would just have to watch.
Hey, watching is good too. Maybe we'll bring shoutcasting back. I don't know.
Oh yeah, we'll do a shoutcasting thingy.
But March 2nd, mark your calendars. Win million only day in lockdown. If it actually happens, I'm all for it.
Yeah, I'd join it.
Greenlink, if
I'll
we're
have to
gonna
get
do
one million.
Troikas, does that mean I could use Betty? Because technically Betty's just a reskin Troika.
Perhaps. Lastly,
Yay.
Greenlink's... I feel
Yay.
I'm so enthusiastic for you saying... It's like, perhaps. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to sound that way. It's just... I
It's
did.
fine.
Lastly, just wanted to highlight another thread that was very creative, as Greenlink always is on the Spiral Knight, or on the Skull Elite Arsenal podcast forums, not the Spiral Knights
Cyborg
forums.
Rocks, we do not talk about that stuff related to Spiral Knights that we do not mention because we are PG-13, right? Are we PG-13?
Yes, we are. So please stop that. And Greenlink was just pointing out, there's some terminology that's very crisscrossy in this game. And he says, quote, awesome, I just got a spark. Wow, really? Now you don't have to worry about dying too much. Oh, no, I meant a primal spark. Right, that's the difference. The Battle Sprite update
Still
introduced...
counts.
The Battle Sprites update introduced pet food, and it also introduced orbs. Orbs are pet food, you say? Oh no, silly, I'm talking about the orbs of alchemy. Do you have a lot of shinings? Sure do, I have over 3,000. That's not a lot of crowns. Oh. Shining
Shinies.
fire heat
the term
crystals.
for them is shinies.
Yes, that's true.
Not shinings. Whoever said shinings is an idiot.
Do you like sprites? I know I do. I like to rescue the ones in the charred court. Oh, not battle sprites? No, the sprites. Okay. So he says, there you have it. This game is more complicated than you might think, and if you can think of any more examples, share them below. This thread is not meant to be taken 100% seriously, but I thought I'd share this. Feel free to respond if you'd like, and please do. If only to say, hey, this person is creative, and that's awesome.
If you do take it seriously, then you are sad. You have no sense of humor.
Indeed. So
And
that
depressing.
link will also be in the show notes on our website, which you can find one more time at skelelite.com/arsenal. You can find every episode there and download this one and listen to it as many times as you want. Also, some other cool stuff. All the information of how to contact us. And I'm saying this because welcome to the end slate for episode 58. I was thinking about it earlier. There was no one I had to shout out to. Do you?
Shiny battle
Nope.
sprites. Would that work? Would that
Ooh.
be a thing?
Can
No.
we IV and EV train our battle sprites?
No.
Watch there be
No.
EVs for battle sprites that no one knows about.
Pokemon. This is not Pokemon. We're not gonna turn this into Pokemon X and Y, where it becomes essentially IV and EV spam training. Shut up, Victor Kuhn. Shut up.
All right then.
It'll be IV and IM.
What's IM?
Intramuscular.
Oh.
IV, intravenous, IM.
Let's talking about effort values and whatever IV.
Let's
And
talk
then-
about Pokemon related.
And then
stuff.
IO, it's in your bone.
Back to the other things. Anyone to shout out to?
No, not really. No.
I'm on TV, Mom.
Third Wing says Gorgos get 2 attack EVs. I wouldn't disagree. Alright, someone get on that Pokemon Spiral Knights crossover.
Then, if we're going that far. Also, Thirder, shut up.
Can you split EVs? You can't, because I
No.
think Trojans get defense. I don't know, maybe not. Alright,
No, you can. You can get one. You can get one attack EV from them and one defense EV, I guess.
okay then.
Maybe. I don't even care.
Moving
It's not
on.
fair.
If you are enraged at how much we derail on this podcast, you can call us at 1-678-322-7765 and let us hear your beautifully angry voice. Or your nice voice.
Admiration by the fact that we derail that much. You are probably about as sad as the person who takes that one post literally.
Sure. If you call 1-678-322-7765, you will get a straight-up answering machine, and it will say, hi, you'll hear me, I think, and it's, hi, Arsenal Podcast kind of thing. Leave a message. Leave your name, and fun stuff. You can find us on Steam. I've had people came after me. Hollows came after me after we talked about him last week. All Hollows, not Hollows. And so we're friends on Steam now. Though I will give you fair warning. Generally, I think for all of us, I don't know, maybe you guys have a different story, but from what I've been told, from Lord Hood anyways, we're not generally going to be super interested in filling up our friends list with every player and their mother.
Yeah. Mother, brother.
We'd rather
cousin,
know you
daughter.
a little bit first. We're happy to say hi, but don't feel offended if we don't keep you. But there you go.
Yep, this one's a keeper. Should I throw these out? Yeah, throw them out.
If you want to be more involved, you could email us, and tell us things at arsenal@skelelite.com is the email. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, iTunes, YouTube, and you can, once again, last time, check out our website for all the episodes, the show notes for this episode, and lots of other cool information. All of what I've just said at skelelite.com/arsenal. Check out youtube.com/skelelite. That's totally worth it. And youtube.com/buttonmashempire. And /searchingstable and /gameplayflix, because they're all awesome people.
Yep.
Alright, thank you guys for listening. That was a Ed slate of sorts.
Yes.
Who's saying the drive home safely this time?
Well, you've already done it, and I've already done it, so Lord Hood has to do it.
The what?
Drive home safely. Like, comment, subscribe.
The
I don't know.
ending thing, like, really?
Lord Hood, end the episode with something incredibly clever, or we'll never be your friend again.
I'm the king of Mao unless the scene is over.
That was awesome. Do that one
I
more
didn't
just
even hear him because you were
say it
talking.
Say it one more time.
I'm the
and
king
we're
of
done.
Mao unless this podcast is over.
Geared up and ready to go? Thanks for listening to the Arsenal, a Spiral Knights podcast. See links and listen to previous episodes on our website, skelelite.com/arsenal. Send comments, questions, and audio to arsenal@skelelite.com or give us a call at 1-678-322-7765.